Wait, what are you doing here instead of playing Silksong? What? You want a tier list? Alright, you need one, you got one. Let's jump right in. Kick off the tier list, we have a weapon that combines the lethality of a marksman rifle with the reliability of an AR. Meet the Odin, aka the full auto SKS. This gun has an unbeatable 2-tap time to kill of 145 milliseconds, while never needing more than 3 shots to kill at the farthest of ranges, which when combined with its controllable recoil means that you have not only the best means, you have an absolute menace in closer ranges, but also one of the best ARs for longer ranges, but it also shoots as slow as a DMR. So if you have Stormtrooper aim, you're gonna die faster than a protagonist in your average isekai anime. Sometimes we just want something more basic, like an oat milk latte or caramel macchiato from Starbucks, a meat lover's pizza from Domino's, something reliable to fall back onto. The weapon equivalent for that would be the XM4. This is, as a certain android would say, terribly well balanced, as it's good at pretty much everything. You have the sprint speed of an SMG, a generous 50-round magazine, a literal perpendicular bisector of a recoil pattern, a competitive time to kill of 240 milliseconds, and the potential to kill even faster with just one headshot. It may not be the best at any one aspect, but it sure as hell ain't last place either. Even after the nerfs, the USS-9 is still a very strong option. It is easily one of the easiest weapons in the game, as it features non-existent recoil, along with a very fast and consistent time to kill, making it a phenomenal option, especially in the hands of novice players. But that does not mean the nerfs did nothing, quite the opposite really, as you can't really build it to be a perfect do-it-all weapon anymore. You actually have to make a choice now. Sure, you can still build it to challenge ARs, but you no longer have the mobility of an SMG, so you basically have a faster killing DRH with less range. And if you want to keep the mobility, yeah, you can do that as well, but then you'll have pretty slow less speed, making it pretty rough to use at range. Now we have the new kid on the block, the Ram 7. We will make a separate video covering this weapon in more detail, but long story short, this weapon features a super competitive time to kill at 210 milliseconds, which might get some of you thinking, hey, that's not special compared to other weapons here. But hold your horses, because the Ram 7 has a pretty neat trick up its sleeve. It's the only one here that also happens to be a straight up bullet hose, so the moment you account for even a single missed shot, the Ram 7 beats all the other flex weapons, making it the most forgiving option on the list. If you have yet to unlock the Ram 7 but want a feel of the weapon, then you can try out the Type 25. Statistically speaking, this weapon is very similar, as it has the exact same time to kill and fire rate, while the Ram 7 is the better weapon overall due to having a much better mag size and recoil. The Type 25 does have some nice benefits too, such as better mobility, slightly more range, and more generous hitboxes. So until you reach tier 21 in the battle pass, this is not a bad choice. To round off this category, we have the DRH. After the nerfs to the USS-9 and the buff it has received this season, this is now the go-to option if you want fast time to kill and cross-mapping range. You have a pretty consistent 3-tap time to kill of 210 milliseconds that goes up to a staggering 36 meters, which is also basically every gunfight in stand-in multiplayer. It also ironically has better mobility than the AR build for the USS-9, so you can get around the map surprisingly fast for an AR that hits this hard. Next, we have the aggro weapons, which are all about violence, speed, momentum, perfect for bum rushing into objectives. Starting off, we have the VMP, an absolute monster in close quarters due to its exceptionally fast handling and untouchable time to kill of 186 ms, leaving every other weapon that isn't a shotgun in the dust. And if that wasn't enough, this weapon can even fight back against some of the flex weapons at mid-range, as its time to kill outside of close range is surprisingly competitive. So, unlike most pure aggro SMGs, you won't be dealing with any performance issues outside of fart-smelling distances. Speaking of fart-smelling distance, okay, that was a weird segue. But anyway, we have the R90, a burst-fire shotgun known for its quick 1-2 punch, allowing you to one burst up to some surprising ranges for a solid time to kill of 200 ms. It also has a short rechamber, so you can repeatedly slam burst after burst with impunity. Just remember to not hold down the fire button for too long, as it takes several business days to reload all 14 rounds, and its mobility is a bit slower than the other shotguns. If you want something a bit more foul, then you can check out the Jack 12 with the Dragon's Breath ammo. This is effectively a full auto R90, as you can 2-tap up to very similar ranges while not having any burst delay, so you can pretty much hold down the trigger and turn the entire OBJ into a family barbecue. Just remember not to hold down for too long because you only have an 8-round mag that lasts about as long as a Minecraft YouTuber's music career. But let's just say you don't want to deal with TDK on a shotgun. No, you want to kill them in a single hit and up to the same ranges as well. Well, that's what the HSO 405 is for. This is basically a free annihilator 24x7 having the potential to one-tap up to nearly 20 meters, which is just ridiculous for a shotgun and top-tier mobility, making it perfect for reenacting that one scene from Terminator. But the trade-off is that this weapon goes all in on big PP damage, so you really have to make each shot count, as missing is basically instant death. On the very opposite end of the spectrum, we have the passive weapons built for beaming your opponents from a distance. The only AR in this category is none other than the KN-44. If the Odin is a flex AR that can double as a main, then the KN is a main AR that can double as a flex. It features excellent BSA, pretty controllable recoil on the initial shots, and an extremely long 4-tap range, which basically covers the entire map. But unlike most main ARs, this one can actually fight back against flex weapons due to its 3-tap potential, giving it an insanely fast time to kill of 192 ms. But do note that it's not something as consistent as like a DRH or USS-9, so you still can't use it as aggressively. You will need a bit of a distance to ensure you get those 3 taps in. There is actually another passive AR you can use, that being our honorable, actually more like this honorable mention, the Man of War with the thermite ammo. This gun is one of the most infuriating weapons to fight against, as even if you kill a Man of War user, they can still kill you from beyond the grave, as long as they land 2 shots thanks to the afterburn damage. It is also one of the best weapons for taking down score streaks, so this is the biggest middle finger to persistence users. The only downside is that the thermite rounds do take their time to cook the enemy to perfection, and if they have flak jacket and or dauntless, forget about it. This is an especially good pick for this season, as we have seen a lot of unit support and overclock users, and if they decide to not use skill overdrive and overclock, it solves the problem anyway, even if they do come back with dauntless, as they're scared you'll pull the Man of War anytime in the match. Next, we have arguably the easiest weapon in the game, the MG42. Most LMGs have painfully slow handling, which means you can't play quite as liberally, but not this one, as its ADS time is actually on the fast side as far as LMGs go. On top of that, it also has some of the lowest recoil in the game, some of the best hipfire accuracy, and while its TDK is not amazing, the extremely fast fire rate means that you're hardly punished for missing. All of this combined makes an LMG that is surprisingly versatile and won't fall behind as much compared to its competition. But let's just say you want a LARP as a sentry gun. You want to put entire sections of the map on lockdown like it's 2020 all over again. Then that's what the LMG is for. The LMG is the LMG. This weapon features pretty fast time to kill, faster than a lot of flex weapons. So once you pair this with its phenomenal accuracy and the stupidest bullet impact in the game, you can basically delete anything within your line of sights. It did get buffed, by the way, and it has some of the highest bullet impact we've ever seen. Just remember that you gain 200 pounds whenever you use this, so it will take 9 years to get around the map and even longer to reload. So we all know that the Odin is a ridiculously strong weapon, but what if we could go even further? Enter the Type 63. This semi-automatic marksman rifle is basically a straight up better SKS, with a faster fire rate, ADS time that borders on SMG territory, and the sprint speed of a flex AR. If you build it in some particular ways, it can even compete with SMGs. All that while being just as laser accurate, along with having the insane 2-tap potential and 1-shot headshot. If you are good with your trigger finger, you essentially have a roided up version of the Odin. Finally, we have the only sniper rifle on this list, the 3-line rifle. Remember back in the day when snipers were ridiculously strong with their extremely fast ADS time and low hit flinch, so bad that people had to cry to get them nerfed? That's what this gun is. You have the same 1-tap consistency as the Tundra, lower hit flinch, and most importantly, insanely fast ADS time, which just makes it a literal goat at quick scoping, and one of the very few snipers that can actually put in some work in response. Yes, the Tundra does have a faster fire rate, but who really cares when you have the ability to even outgun SMGs with that ADS time? And faster fire rates don't matter if you die while ADSing. Let us know your favorite guns in the comments down below. Lock and load, going dark.